It's 1965. LBJ is president. My Fair Lady wins Best Picture, and I'm 10 years old. And I'm making my stage debut at West Hollywood Elementary School. Their big production, Harry Poppins, Mary's Black Sheep Brother. Curtain opens, breathe. I enter wearing a top hat and a black cape. Hello, Mrs. Franks. I am Harry Poppins. To my surprise, the audience goes nuts. They applaud, they laugh. And in that moment, I'm just a kid, but I realize the stage is where I belong. Broadway, here I come. After the show, my dad says, "That's my boy." Getting his approval means everything. I grew up in a show business family. My dad, Ben Starr, writes Our Man Flint, Mr. Ed, All in the Family. The Brady Bunch, pork chops and applesauce. That's my dad. Show business is in my blood. My parents get married when Dad is writing for the Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin radio show. And Jerry Lewis pays for my parents' wedding. There's Jerry Lewis, my mom, my dad, and the best man, Sheldon Leonard, who produces the Dick Van Dyke Show, and he's also the bartender in It's a Wonderful Life. Get me, ding. I'm giving out wings, ding. Going to school in Hollywood means everybody's parents are in show business. In 8th grade, I'm in speech class with Julie Nimoy, and one day her father, Leonard Nimoy, walks into class straight from the set of Star Trek. Teacher asks, "Who wants to do an improv with Mr. Spock?" I comedy riff with him for 10 solid minutes, just him and me. And even David Weiss, who slugs me in the stomach on the schoolyard, laughs his head off. Afterwards, Mr. Nimoy says, "Kid, you're going to be a star." He knows a little something about stars. Really? Me. Because I've always been different. But at that moment, I feel 10 feet tall. 3 years later, my class takes a team tour to New York City, first time, to see the Broadway smash 1776. Afterwards, we get to go backstage and meet the actor Howard Da Silva. "I want to be an actor," I say. "Yeah, follow me, kid." And he walks me onto the stage of the Majestic Theater. It's bare, but there's a stand with a blazing light bulb. And he leaves me alone on stage, on a Broadway stage. The seats are covered, but I can imagine the audience there. Someday, I say to myself, I'll be back. 1976, I'm 21. Any changes? I'm nowhere near being on Broadway, but my dad generously writes me small parts on his TV shows. Here I am, in different strokes. My dad also writes, "What you talking about, Willis?" Every time I show up on set, my dad says, "Don't screw it up, kid." But I know it's not a joke. I need to be perfect, and the pressure not to embarrass my dad is numbing. If I miss up a line, I panic. "Don't screw it up, kid" becomes my theme song. Producer Norman Lear annually gives out Nepotism of the Year awards at the Christmas party. Every year, my dad yells, "I'll take that," gives me a shot to the look, and just walks up to stage and grabs the award. On set, I joke, I got this part because my mom was sleeping with the producer. Really. With each job, I'm constantly trying to prove myself. At 22, I finally get up the courage to tell my dad, I'm gay. It takes 5 years for him to mention it again. And when I walk into my parents' house, I realize there are very few pictures of me, the gay son. Eventually, all is forgiven, and it only took 45 years and 5 therapists. I was out personally, but not professionally. I'm able to work as an actor, a straight actor. When performing, I'm not gay. I feel powerful and macho. Here I am sitting behind John Travolta on Welcome Back, Kotter. I tap dance on MASH with Alan Alda, because that's not gay. I'm so straight, I even managed to win the dating game twice. I get this gal to pick me, but she doesn't get to get off work the night that our big night on the town date is, because she's a stripper. So the show forces me to take a female friend. My first boyfriend, Wayne, is pissed. 1979. I am a regular at the Comedy Store. Even though my career is taking off, it takes over a year to finally invite my dad to come see my show. And the night he comes, I kill it. Afterwards, Dad beams. I'm proud of you, John boy. I feel like I'm Mr. Sunshine, how do you do? Filled with confidence, a week later, I'm doing improv on the main stage in front of a packed house. The audience is in the palm of my hands. And I have that high that only other actors know. There's a brief moment of silence, and suddenly someone from the back of the house yells, "Faggot!" I freeze. The audience starts laughing, but this time at me. The other actors step away. Someone pushes me aside, on with the show. Stunned, humiliated, vulnerable, I skulk off stage. No one looks me in the eye. I hurry outside. I can't catch my breath, hyperventilating. I feel like I've been punched in the stomach again. It's a schoolyard all over again. Choking back tears, I run down Sunset Boulevard. I sit in my green Chevy Nova and cry. A week later, I gather courage. I go back and I sign up for my regular weekly slot. But they don't pick me. I go back the next week. And again, they don't pick me. For a month, I keep going back, and the Comedy Store never lets me get back on stage again, because I'm gay. I fall into deep depression. My agent fires me for being light in the loafers. In 1980, that's polite for faggot. I met Tennessee Williams once. He's light in the loafers. Paul Lynde, he's light in the loafers. Charles Nelson Riley's light in the loafers. Oh. No one says they're gay. Everyone knows. I mean, they have careers. They're comic relief. But a joke. John Starr is light in the loafers. I'm light in the loafers. I'm one of those guys. Humiliation has always been my biggest fear, and after trying to get back on stage over and over, being denied, combined with a moment charged with homophobia in an era that we don't yet have the language to know it gets better, it ends up building stage fright that until now has never been faced. Today, right now, for the first time in 36 years, I am on stage in front of a live audience as myself, John Starr. For years, I blamed myself for a mistake that I finally realized I didn't make. And having been beaten up since childhood for being gay, I learned it's safer not to talk back to bullies. Just run away. 1980 is a different time. There were no openly gay celebrities. Before AIDS, it's still illegal to be gay in many states. The moral majority says, I don't count. And I try to prove to my parents and the rest of the world, I do. My dream of being a musical comedy star ends. My career, over. I become a male maid. Embrace humility. Try cleaning your friends' toilets and get back to me. I eventually land in TV production and distribution, but I continue to watch my other friends who are actors having their careers take off while I sit behind a desk. In my mid-50s, I decide to start acting again, but I'm too afraid to do it as myself, and in the back of my closet I find an old UCLA clown costume, and I feel freedom hiding behind that grease paint. I can be silly and fey as a clown. No one calls me a faggot. I even book a GQ magazine job with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She picks me up in a clown disco. That's me. I fuck her. And leave her. And baby makes 3. I love being a clown, but now I want to be seen as myself. I've spent 36 years giving some unknown schmuck at the Comedy Center, the Comedy Store, my power. So I'm removing my makeup. I'm taking my power back. Not someday. Not soon. Now.